then, and made new head.
He had, my lord, and that it was which caused our swifter composition.
So then the Volsci stand but as at first, ready when time shall prompt them to make road upon us again.
Oh, they are warned, Lord Consul, so that we shall hardly in our ages see their banners wave again.
Saw you, Aufidius?
On safeguard he came to me, and did curse against the Volscis, for they had so vilely yielded the town, he is retired to Antium.
Spoke he of me?
He did, my lord.
How? What?
How often he had met you sword to sword, that of all things upon the earth he hated your person most, that he would pawn his fortunes to hopeless restitution, so he might be called your vanquisher.
At Antium lives he?
At Antium.
I wish I had a cause to seek him there to oppose his hatred fully. Welcome home. Behold, these are the tribunes of the people, the tongues of the common mouth. I do despise them, for they do prank them in authority against all noble sufferance.
Pass no further.
Huh? What is that?
It will be dangerous to go on. No further.
What makes this change?
The matter?
Hath he not passed the noble and the common?
Cominius, no.
Have I had children's voices?
Tribunes, give way. He shouts to the marketplace. The people are incensed against him.
Stop, or all will fall in broil.
Are these your herd? Must these have voices that can yield them now and straight disclaim their tongues? What are your offices? You being their mouths, why rule you not their teeth? Have you not set them on?
Be calm.
It is a purpose thing engrossed by plot to curb the will of the nobility. Suffer it and live with such as cannot rule, nor ever will be ruled.
Court, not a plot. The people cry you mocked them. And of late, when corn was given them gratis, you repined, scandaled the suppliants for the people, called them time-pleasers, flatterers, foes to nobleness.
Why, this was known before.
Not to them all.
Have you informed them, sithence?
I informed them.
You are like to do such business?
Not unlike each way to better yours.
Why, then, should I be consul? By yon clouds, let me deserve so ill as you and make me your fellow tribune.
You show too much of that for which the people stir. If you will pass to where you're bound, you must inquire your way which you're out of with a gentler spirit, or never be so noble as a consul, nor yoke with him for tribune.
Let's be calm.
The people are abused. Set on. This paltering becomes not Rome, nor has Coriolanus deserved this so dishonored rub laid falsely in the plain way of his merit.
Tell me of corn. This was my speech, and I will speak it again.
Now, not on us.
Now, as I live, I will. My nobler friends, I crave their pardons. For the mutable, rank-scented many, let them regard me as I do not flatter, and therein behold themselves. I say again, in soothing them, we nourish against our senate the cockle of rebellion, insolence, sedition, which we ourselves have ploughed for, sowed and scattered, by mingling them with us, the honoured number, who lack not virtue, no, nor power, but that which they have given to beggars.
Well, no more.
No more words, we beseech.
Oh, no more. As for my country, I have shed my blood, not fearing outward force. So shall my lungs coin words till they decay against those measles, which we disdain should tether us, yet sought the very way to catch them.
You speak of the people as if you were a god to punish, not a man of their infirmity.
Farewell, we let the people know it.
But what is choler?
Choler, were I as patient as the midnight sleep, by Jove, 'twould be my mind.
It is a mind that shall remain, a poison where it is, not poison any further.
Shall remain. Hear you this Triton of the minnows. Mark you his absolute shall.
'Twas from the canon.
Shall. Oh, good, but most unwise patricians, why, you grave but reckless senators, have you thus given Hydra here to choose an officer that with his peremptory shall, being but the horn and noise of the monsters, wants not spirit to say he'll turn your current in a ditch and make your channel his? If ye have power, then veil your ignorance. If none, awake your dangerous lenity. If you are learned, be not as common fools. If you are not, let them have cushions by you. You are plebeians if they be senators, and they are no less. When both your voices blended, the greats taste most palates theirs. They choose their magistrate, and such a one as he, who puts his shall, his popular shall, against a graver bench than ever frowned in Greece. By Jove himself, it makes the consuls base. And my soul aches to know, when two authorities are up, neither supreme, how soon confusion may enter twixt the gap of both and take the one by the other.
Well, on to the marketplace.
Whoever gave that counsel to give forth the corn of the storehouse gratis, as 'twas used sometime in Greece,
Though there the people had more absolute power, I say they nourished disobedience, fed the ruin of the state.
Why shall the people give one that speaks thus their voice?
I'll give my reasons more worthier than their voices. They know the corn was not our recompense, resting well assured they ne'er did service for it. Being pressed to the war, even when the navel of the state was touched, they would not thread the gates. This kind of service did not deserve corn gratis. Being in the war, their mutinies and revolts wherein they showed most valor spoke not for them. The accusation which they have often made against the Senate, all cause unborn, could never be the native of our so frank a nation. Well, what then? How shall this bosom multiply digest the Senate's courtesy? Let deeds express what's like to be their words. We did request it. We are the greater poll, and in true fear they gave us our demands. Thus we debase the nature of our seats and make the rabble call our cares fears, which will in time break ope the locks of the Senate and bring in the crows to peck the eagles.
Enough with overmeasure.
No, take more. What may be sworn by both divine and human seal would I end withal. This double worship, where one part does disdain with cause, the other insult without all reason, where gentry, title, wisdom cannot conclude, but by the yea and no of general ignorance, it must omit real necessities and give way the while to unstable slightness. Purpose so barred, it follows nothing is done to purpose. Therefore, beseech you, you that would be less fearful than discreet, that love the fundamental part of state more than you doubt the change on't, that prefer a noble life before a long, and wish to jump a body with a dangerous physic that's sure of death without it, at once pluck out the multitudinous tongue. Let them not lick the sweet which is their poison. Your dishonor mangles true judgment and bereaves the state of that integrity which should be camped, not having the power to do the good it would for the ill which doth control it.
Hessidina has spoken like a traitor, and shall answer as traitors do.
Thou wretch, despite overwhelm thee. What should the people do with these bold tribunes on whom depending their obedience fails to the greater bench? In a rebellion, when what's not meet but what must be was law, then were they chosen. In a better hour, let what is meet be said, it must be meet, and throw their power in the dust.
Manifest treason! Sir Consul, no!
Indeed, I'll throw, let it be apprehended!
Go call the people, in whose name myself attach thee as a traitorous innovator, a foe to the public weal. Obey, I charge thee, and follow to thine answer.
Hence, old goat.
We'll surely be
Age, sir, hands off. Hence, rotten thing, or I shall shake thy bones out of thy garments.
No, please, it is I.
Both sides, more respect.
There's he that would take from you all your power.
Weapons! 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 Tribunes, patricians, citizens, Sicinius, Brutus, Coriolanus, all citizens.
What is about to be? I am out of breath. Confusion's near. I cannot speak. You, tribunes to the people. Coriolanus, patience. Speak, good Sicinius.
Hear me, people, peace.
Let's hear our tribune.
You're at point to lose your liberties. Martius would have all from you. Martius, whom late you've named for consul.
Fie. This is the way to kindle, not to quench.
Unbuild the city and to lay all flat.
What is the city but the people?
The people of the city. By the consent of all, we will establish the people's magistrate.
So I like to do.
That is the way to lay the city flat, to bring the roof to the foundation and bury all which yet distinctly ranges in heaps and piles of ruin.
This deserves death.
Or let us stand to our authority, or let us lose it. We do here pronounce upon the part of the people, in whose power we were elected theirs. Martius is worthy of present death.
Therefore lay hold on him, bear him to the rock Tarpeian, and from thence into destruction cast him.
Hear me one word. Beseech you, tribunes. Hear me but a word. Be that you seem truly your country's friend, and temperately proceed to what you would thus violently retreat.
Sir, those cold ways that seem like prudent helps are very poisonous where the disease is violent. Lay hands upon him and bear him to the rock.
No! I'll die here. The some among you have beheld me fighting. Come try upon yourselves what you have seen.
Down with that sword. Tribunes, withdraw a while.
Lay hands upon him.
Help him, young and old. Go get her to your house. Begone away, all will be naught else.
Stand fast, we have as many friends as enemies.
Shall it be put to that?
The gods forbid! I prithee, noble friend, home to thy house. We must secure this cause.
Thought is a sword upon us, you cannot tempt yourself. Begone, beseech you.
Come, sir, along with us.
I would they were barbarians as they are, though in Rome littered, not Romans as they are, not though carved in the porch of the Capitol.
Begone, put not your worthy rage unto your tongue. One time will owe another.
On fair ground I could beat 40 of them.
I could myself take up a brace of the best of them, the two tribunes.
Now, it is odds beyond arithmetic, and manhood is called foolery when it stands against a falling fabric. Will you hence before the tag return, whose rage doth rend like interrupted waters, and all bear what they are used to bear?
Pray you be gone. I'll try whether my old wit be in request with those that have but little. This must be patched with cloth of any colour.
Hey, come away! This man's marred his fortune.
His nature is too noble for the world. He would not flatter Neptune for his trident, or Jove for his power to thunder. His heart's his mouth. What his breast forges, that his tongue must vent, and being angry does forget that ever he heard the name of death. Here's goodly work.
I would they were a bed.
I would they were in Tiber. What the vengeance? Could he not speak him fair?
Where is this viper that would depopulate the city and be every man himself?
You worthy tribune.
He shall be thrown down the Dopian rock with rigorous hands. He hath resisted law. And therefore law shall scorn him further trial than the severity of the public power which he so sets at naught.
He shall well know the noble tribunes are the people's mouths, and we that have.
Sir.
Peace.
Do not cry havoc where you should but hunt with modest warrant.
Sir, how comes it that you have helped to make this rescue?
Hear me speak. As I do know the consul's worthiness, so can I name his fault.
Consul? What consul?
The consul Coriolanus.
He consul!
If by the tribune's leave, and yours, good people, I may be heard, I would crave a word or two, the which shall turn you to no further harm than so much loss of time.
Speak briefly, then, for we are peremptory to dispatch this viperous traitor, to eject him hence for but one danger, and to keep him here our certain death. Therefore it is decreed he dies tonight.
Now the good gods forbid that our renowned Rome, whose gratitude towards her deserved children is enrolled in Jove's own book like an unnatural dam, should now eat up her own.
He's a disease that must be cut away.
Oh, he's a limb that has but a disease, mortal to cut it off, to cure it, easy. What has he done to Rome that's worthy death? Killing our enemies, the blood he hath lost, which I dare vouch is more than that he hath, by many an ounce. He dropped it for his country, and what is left? To lose it by his country were to us all that do it, and suffer it. A brand to the end of the world.
This is clean camp.
Nearly all right. When he did love his country, it honored him.
The service of the foot being once gangrened is not then respected for what before it was.
We'll hear no more. Pursue him to his house and pluck him thence, lest an infection being a patch of nature spread further.
One word more. One word. This tiger-footed rage, when it shall find the harm of unscanned swiftness, will too late tie leaden pounds to his heels. Proceed by process, lest parties, as he is beloved, break out and sack great Rome with Roman. If it was so.
What do you talk? Have we not had a taste of his obedience? Our Aedile smoked, ourselves resisted. Come!
Consider this! Consider this! He has been bred i' the wars since he could draw a sword, and is ill schooled in bolted language. Meal and bran together he throws without distinction. Give me leave. I'll go to him, and undertake to bring him, where he shall answer by a lawful form in peace, to his utmost peril.
Noble tribunes, it is the humane way. The other course will prove too bloody, and the end of it unknown to the beginning.
Noble Menenius, you then as the people's officer. Masters, lay down your weapons. Meet on the marketplace. We'll attend you there, where, if you bring not Martius, we'll proceed in our first way.
I'll bring him to you. Let me desire your company. He must come, and what is worst will follow.
Pray you, let's do it.
Let them pull all about mine ears, present me death on the wheel or at wild horses' heels, or pile 10 hills from the Tarpeian rock, that the precipitation might downstretch below the beam of sight, yet will I still be thus to them.
You do the nobler.
I muse my mother does not approve me further, who was wont to call them woolen vassals, things created to buy and sell with groats, to show bare heads in congregations, to yawn, be still, and wonder, when but one of my ordinance stood up to speak of peace or war. I talk of you. Why did you wish me milder? Would you have me false to my nature? Rather say I play the man I am.
Oh, sir. I would have had you put your power well on before you had worn it out.
Let go.
You might have been enough the man you are, with striving less to be so. Lesser had been the thwarting of your dispositions if you had not showed them how you were disposed ere they lacked power to cross you.
Let them hang.
I am burned too.
Come, you have been too rough. Something too rough. You must return and mend it.
There's no remedy, unless by not so doing our good city cleave in the midst and perish.
Pray be counselled. I have a heart as little apt as yours, but yet a brain that leads my use of anger to better vantage.
Well said, noble woman. Before he should thus stoop to the herd, but that the violent fit of the time craves it as physic for the whole state, I would put mine armor on, which I can scarcely bear,
What must I do?
Return to the tribunes.
Well, what then? What then?
Repent what you have spoken.
For them, I cannot do to the dogs. Must I then do to them?
You are too absolute, though therein you can never be too noble, but when extremities speak. I have heard you say, honor and policy, like unsevered friends in the war, do grow together. Grant that, and tell me in peace what each of them but the other lose, that they combine not there.
Good demand.
If it be honor in your wars to seem the same you are not, which for your best ends you adopt your policy, how is it less or worse that it should hold companionship in peace with honor as in war? Since that to both it stands in like request.
Why force you this?
Because that now it lies on you to speak to the people, not by your own instruction, nor with a matter which your heart prompts you, but with such words that are but roted in your tongue, though but bastards and syllables of no allowance to your bosom's truth. Now this no more dishonors you at all than to take in a town with gentle words, which else would put you to your fortune and the hazard of much blood. I would dissemble with my nature where my fortunes and my friends at stake required I should do so in honor. I am in this, your wife, your son, these senators, the nobles, and you would rather show our general louts how you can frown than spend a fawn upon them for the inheritance of their loves and safeguard of what that want might ruin.
Noble lady, come, go with us. Speak fair. You may salve so not what is dangerous present, but the loss of what is past.
I prithee now, my son, go to them with this bonnet in thy hand, and thus far having stretched it, here be with them, thy knee bussing the stones, for in such business action is eloquence, and the eyes of the ignorant more learned than the ears. Waving thy head, with often thus correcting thy stout heart, now humble as the ripest mulberry that will not hold the handling. Say to them, thou art their soldier, and being bred in broils, hast not the soft way, which, thou dost confess, were fit for thee to use, as they to claim in asking their good loves. But thou would frame thyself, forsooth, hereafter theirs, so far as thou hast power and person.
This but done, even as she speaks, why, their hearts were yours, for they have pardons being asked as free as words to little purpose.
Prithee now, go and be ruled, although I know thou'dst rather follow thine enemy in a fiery gulf than flatter him in a bower. Here is Cominius.
I have been in the marketplace. Answer, 'tis fit to make strong party or defend yourself by calmness or by absence. All's in anger.
Only fair speech.
I think 'twill serve if he can thereto frame his spirit.
He must and will. Prithee now say you will and go about it.
Must I go show them my unbarbed sconce? Must I with my base tongue give to my noble heart a lie that it must bear? Well, I will do it. Were they but this single plot to lose, this mould of Martius, they to dust should grind it and throw it against the wind. To the marketplace. You have put me now to such a part which never I shall discharge to the life.
Come, we'll prompt you.
I prithee now, sweet son, as thou hast said, my praises made thee first a soldier, so to have my praise for this, perform a part thou hast not done before.
Well, I must do it. Away my disposition and possess me some harlot spirit. My throat of war be turned, which quiet with my drum into a pipe, small as an eunuch, or the virgin voice that babies lull asleep. The smiles of knaves tent in my cheeks, and schoolboys' tears take up the glasses of my sight. A beggar's tongue make motion through my lips, and my armed knees, who bowed but in my stirrup, bend like his that hath received an alms. I will not do it, lest I surcease to honor mine own truth, and by my body's action teach my mind a most inherent baseness.
At thy choice, then. To beg of thee it is my more dishonor than thou of them. Come all to ruin. Let thy mother rather feel thy pride than fear thy dangerous stoutness. For I mock at death with as big heart as thou. Do as thou list. Thy valiantness was mine, thou suck'st it from me. But oh, thy pride, thyself.
Pray be content. Mother, I'm going to the marketplace. Chide me no more. I'll mountebank their loves, cog their hearts from them, and come home beloved of all the trades in Rome. Look, I am going. Commend me to my wife. I'll return consul, nor never trust to what my tongue can do with the way of flattery further.
Do your will.
Away, the tribunes do attend you. Arm yourself to answer mildly, for they are prepared with accusations, as I hear, more strong than are upon you yet.
A word, is mildly. Aye. Pray you let us go. Let them accuse me by invention. I will answer in mine honor.
Aye, but mildly.
Well, mildly, dear, then, mildly.
In this point, charge him home, that he affects tyrannical power. If he evade us there, enforce him with his envy to the people, and that the spoil got on the Antiotes was ne'er distributed. What, will he come?
He's coming.
How accompanied?
With old Menenius and those senators that always favoured him.
Have you a catalogue of all the voices that we have procured, set down by the poll?
I have. 'Tis ready.
Have you collected them by tribes?
I have.
Assemble presently the people hither, and when they hear me say, it shall be so, in the right and strength of the commons, be it either for death, for fine, or banishment, then let them, if I say fine, cry fine. If death, cry death, insisting on the old prerogative and power in the truth of the cause.
I shall inform them.
And when such time they have begun to cry, let them not cease, but with a din confused enforce the present execution of what we chance to sentence.
Very well.
Make them be strong and ready for this hint when we shall have to give it them.
Go about it. Put him to collar straight. He hath been used ever to conquer and have his worth of contradiction. Being once chafed, he cannot be reined again to temperance, and he speaks what's in his heart. And that is there which looks with us to break his neck.
Well, here he comes.
Calmly, I do beseech you.
As an hostler that for the poorest peace will bear the knave by the volume. The honoured gods, keep Rome in safety and the chairs of justice supplied with worthy men. Plant love amongst through our large temples for the shows of peace, and not our streets with war.
Amen.
A noble wish.
Draw near, ye people.
Listen to your tribune. Audience, peace, I say.
First hear me speak.
Well, say.
Peace, so.
Shall I be charged no further than this present? Must all determine here?
I do demand, if you submit you to the people's voices, allow their officers, and are content to suffer lawful censure for such faults as shall be proved upon you.
I am content.
Hello, citizens. He says he is content. The warlike service he has done, consider. Think upon the wounds his body bears, which show like graves i' the holy church.
Scratches with briars, scars to move laughter.
Consider further that when he speaks not like a citizen, you find him like a soldier. Do not take his rougher accents for malicious sounds, but as I say, such as become a soldier, rather than envy you.
Well, no more. What is the matter that being passed for consul with full voice, I am so dishonoured that the very hour you take it off again?
Answer to us.
Say then, 'tis true, I ought so.
We charge that you have contrived to take from Rome all seasoned office and to wind yourself into a power tyrannical, for which you are a traitor to the people.
How? Traitor.
Nay, temperately, your promise.
The fires of the lowest hell fold in the people. Call me their traitor, thou injurious tribune. Within thine eyes sat 20,000 deaths. In thy hands clutched as many millions. In thy lying tongue both numbers. I would say thou liest unto thee with a voice as free as I do pray the gods.
Mark you this, people! Peace! We need not put new matter to his charge. What you have seen him do and heard him speak, beating your officers, cursing yourselves, opposing laws with strokes, and here defying those whose great power must try him, even this so criminal and in such capital kind, deserves the extremest death.
But since he hath served well for Rome,
What, you prated service?
I talk of that but know it.
You?
Is this the price that you made your mother?
No, I pray you. I know no further. Let them pass the steep Tarpeian death, vagabond exile, flame, bent to linger but with the grain a day. I will not buy their mercy at the price of one fair word, nor check my courage for what they can give, to have to say, good morrow.
marks upon me. I do love my country's good with a respect more tender, more holy and profound than mine own life. My dear wife's estimate, her womb's increase and treasure of my loins. Then, if I would speak that...
We know your drift. Speak what?
There's still more to be said, but he is banished as enemy to the people and his country. It shall be so! It shall be so! It shall be so!
You common cry of curs whose breath I hate as reek of the rotten fence, whose loves I prize as the dead carcasses of unburied men that do corrupt my air. I banish you, and here remain with your uncertainty. Let every feeble rumor shake your hearts. Your enemies with nodding of their plumes fan you into despair. Have the power still to banish your defenders, till at length your ignorance, which finds not till it feels, making but reservation of yourselves, still your own foes, deliver you as most abated captives to some nation that won you without blows. Despising for you the city, thus I turn my back. There is a world elsewhere.
The people's enemy is gone! It's gone!
Our enemy is banished! It is gone! Go see him out of gates, and follow him as he has followed you, with all despite give him deserved vexation. Let a guard attend us through the city.
God, let us see him out of the gate!
The gods preserve our noble tribune!
Come, leave your tears. A brief farewell. The beast with many heads butts me away. Nay, mother, where is your ancient courage? You were used to say extremities was the triad of spirits, that common chances common men could bear, that when the sea was calm, all boats alike showed mastership in floating. Fortune's blows, when most struck home, being gentle wounded, craves a noble cunning. You were used to load me with precepts that would make invincible the heart that conned them.
Oh, heavens, oh, heavens.
Nay, I prithee, woman.
Now the red pestilence strike all trades in Rome, and occupations perish.
What? I shall be loved when I am lacked. Nay, mother, resume that spirit when you were wont to say, if you had been the wife of Hercules, 6 of his labors you'd have done and saved your husband so much sweat. Cominius, droop not. Adieu. Farewell, my wife, my mother. I'll do well yet. Thou old and true Menenius, thy tears are salter than a younger man's, and venomous to thine eyes. My sometime general, I've seen thee stern, and thou hast oft beheld heart-hardening spectacles. Tell these sad women 'tis fond to wail inevitable strokes as 'tis to laugh at them. My mother, you wot well my hazard still have been your solace, and believe not lightly, though I go alone like to a lonely dragon, that his fen makes feared and talked of more than seen, your son will or exceed the common, or be caught with cautelous baits and practice.
My first son, whither wilt thou go? Take good Cominius with thee a while. Determine on some course more than a wild exposure to each chance that starts of the way before thee.
The gods!
I'll follow thee a month. Devise with thee where thou shalt rest, that thou mayst hear of us and we of thee. So if the time thrust forth a cause for thy repeal, we shall not send o'er the vast world to seek a single man, and lose advantage which doth ever cool in the absence of the needer.
Fare ye well. Thou hast years upon thee, and thou art too full of the war surfeits to go rove with one that's yet unbruised. Bring me but out at gate. Come, my sweet wife, my dearest mother, and my friends of noble touch. When I am forth, bid me farewell and smile. I pray you come. While I remain above the ground, you shall hear from me still, and never of me aught but what is like me formerly.
That's worthy ears. Any ear can hear. Come, let's not weep. If I could shake off but 7 years from these old arms and legs, by the good gods, I'd with thee. Every foot.
Give me thy hand. Come.
Bid them all home. He's gone.
And we'll know further. The nobility are vexed whom we see have sided in his behalf.
Now we have shown our power,
Let us seem humbler after it is done than when it was a doing.
Bid them home. Say their great enemy is gone, and they stand in their ancient strength.
Dismiss them home.
Here comes his mother.
Let's not meet her.
Why?
They say she's mad.
They have taken note of us. Keep on your way.
Oh, you're well met. The horrid plague of the gods requite your love.
Peace, peace, be not so.
If that I could for weeping you should hear. Nay, and you shall hear some. Will you be gone? You shall stay too. I would I had the power to say so to my husband.
Are you mankind?
Aye, fool, is that a shame? Note but this fool. Was not a man my father? Hadst thou fuckship to banish him that struck more blows for Rome than thou hast spoken words?
Oh, blessed heavens.
More noble blows than ever thou wise words, and for Rome's good. I'll tell thee what. Yet go. Nay, but thou shalt stay too. I would my son were in Arabia, and I'd try before him his good sword in his hand.
What then?
What then? He'd make an end of thy posterity. Bastards and all. Good man, the wounds that he does bear for Rome.
Come, peace.
I would he had continued to his country as he began, and not unknit himself the noble knot he made.
I would he had.
I would he had. 'Twas you incensed the rabble. Cats! That can judge as fitly of his worth as I can of those mysteries which heaven will not have earth to know.
But pray, let's go.
Now, pray, sir, get you gone. You have done a brave deed. Here you go, hear this. As far as doth the capital exceed the meanest house in Rome, so far, my son, this lady's husband here, this, do you see, whom you have banished, doth exceed you all.
Well, we'll leave you.
Why stay we to be mated with one that wants her wits?
Take my prayers with you. I would the gods had nothing else to do but to confirm my curses. Could I meet him but once a day, but unclog my heart of what lies heavy to it.
You have told them home, and by my troth you have cause. You'll sup with me?
Anger is my meat. I sup upon myself, and so shall starve with feeding. Come, let's go. Leave this paint puling and lament as I do in anger, Juno-like. Come, come, come.
Fie.
I know you well, sir. And you know me. Your name, I think, is Adrian.
It is so, sir. Truly, I had forgot you.
I'm a Roman, and my services are as you are, against them. Know you me yet?
Nicanor, no.
The same, sir.
You had more beard when I last saw you, but your favor is well appeared by your tongue.
What's the news in Rome? I have a note from the Volscian state to find you out there. You have well saved me a day's journey.
There have been in Rome strange insurrections. The people against the senators, patricians, and nobles.
Hath been? Is it ended, then? Our state thinks not so. They are in most warlike preparation, and hope to come upon them in the heat of their division.
The main blaze of it is past, but a small thing would make it flame again. For the nobles receive so to heart the banishment of that worthy Coriolanus that they're in a ripe aptness to take all power from the people and to pluck from them their tribunes forever. This lies glowing, I can tell you, and is almost mature for a violent breaking out.
Coriolanus banished?
Banished, sir.
You will be welcome with this intelligence, Nicanor.
The day serves well for them now. I've heard it said the fittest time to corrupt a man's wife is when she's fallen out with her husband. Your noble Titus Aufidius will appear well in these wars, his great opposer Coriolanus being now in no request of his country.
He cannot choose. I am most fortunate thus accidentally to encounter you. You have ended my business, and I will merrily accompany you home.
I shall, between this and supper, tell you most strange things from Rome, all tending to the good of their adversaries. Have you an army ready, say you?
A most royal one. The centurions and their charges distinctly billeted, already in the entertainment, and to be on foot at an hour's warning.
I'm joyful to hear of their readiness, and am the man, I think, that shall set them in present action. So, sir, heartily well met, and most glad of your company.
You take my part from me, sir. I have the most cause to be glad of yours.
Well, let us go together.
A goodly city is this Antium. City, 'tis I that made thy widows. Many an heir of these fair edifices for my wars have I heard groan and drop. Then know me not, lest that thy wives with spits and boys with stones in puny battle slay me. Save you, sir?
And you?
Direct me, if it be your will, where great Aufidius lies. Is he in Antium?
He is, and feasts the nobles of the state at his house this night.
Which is his house, beseech you?
This, here, before you.
Thank you, sir. Farewell. Oh, world, thy slippery turns. Friends now fast sworn, whose double bosoms seem to wear one heart, whose hours, whose bed, whose meal and exercise are still together, who twin as 'twere in love unseparable, shall within this hour, on a dissension or a doit, break out to bitterest enmity. So fellest foes, whose passions and whose plots have broke their sleep to take the one the other, by some chance, some trick not worth an egg, shall grow dear friends and interjoin their issues. So with me, my birthplace hate I, and my love's upon this enemy down. I'll enter. If he slay me, he does fair justice. If he give me way, I'll do his country service.
Wine, wine, wine! What service is here? I think our fellows are asleep.
Where's Titus? My master calls for him. Go, Titus!
A goodly house. The feast smells well, but I appear not like a guest.
What will you have, friend? Whence are you? Here's no place for you. Break open the door.
I have deserved no better entertainment in being Coriolanus.
Whence are you, sir? As the porter his eyes at his head, he gives entrance to such companions. Try get you out.
Away.
Away? Get you away?
Now thou'rt troublesome.
Oh, you so brave. All have you talked with and on?
What fellow's this? Strange one as ever I looked on. I cannot get him out of the house. Pity call my master to him. What have you to do here, fellow? Pray you avoid the house.
Let me but stand, I will not hurt your hearth.
What are you? A gentleman. Marvellous poor one.
True, so I am.
Pray you, poor gentleman, take up some other station. Here's no place for you. Pray you avoid. Come.
Follow your function, go and batten on cold bits.
What? You will not? Prithee, tell my master what a strange guest he has here.
And I shall.
Where dwellest thou?
Under the canopy?
Under the canopy?
Aye.
Where's that?
In the city of kites and crows.
In the city of kites and crows. What an ass it is. Then thou dwellest with doors, too.
No, I serve not thy master.
How, sir? Do you meddle with my master?
Aye, 'tis an honester service than to meddle with thy mistress. Thou pratest and prayst, serve with thy trencher, hence!
Where is this fellow?
Yes, sir. I'd have beaten him like a dog, but for disturbing the lords within.
Whence comest thou? What wouldst thou? Thy name? Why speaks not? Speak, man. What's thy name?
If Tullus, not yet thou knowst me, and seeing me dost not think me for the man I am, necessity commands me name myself.
What is thy name?
A name unmusical to the Volscians' ears and harsh in sound to thine.
Say, what's thy name? Thou hast a grim appearance, and thy face bears a command in't. Though thy tackle's torn, thou showst a noble vessel. What's thy name?
Prepare thy brow to frown. Knowst thou me yet?
I know thee not. Thy name?
My name is Caius Martius, who hath done to thee particularly and to all the Volsces great hurt and mischief. Thereto witness me my surname, Coriolanus. The painful service, the extreme dangers, and the drops of blood shed for my thankless country are requited but with that surname. A good memory, and witness of the malice and displeasure which thou shouldst bear me. Only that name remains. The cruelty and envy of the people permitted by our dastard nobles, who have all forsook me, hath devoured the rest, and suffered me by the voice of slaves to be hooped out of Rome. Now this extremity hath brought me to thy hearth, not out of hope, mistake me not, to save my life. For if I had feared death of all men in the world, I would have avoided thee. But in mere spite, to be full quit of those my banishers, stand I before thee here. Then if thou hast a heart of wreak in thee, that will revenge thine own particular wrongs and stop those maims of shame seen through thy country, speed thee straight and make my misery serve thy turn. So use it that my revengeful services may prove as benefits to thee, for I will fight against my cankered country with the spleen of all the underfiends. But if so be thou darest not this, and that to prove more fortunes thou art tired, Then, in a word, I also am longer to live, most weary, and present my throat to thee and to thy ancient malice, which not to cut would show thee but a fool, since I've ever followed thee with hate, drawn tons of blood out of thy country's breast, and cannot live but to thy shame, unless it be to do thee service.
Oh, Martius. Martius. Each word thou hast spoke hath weeded from my heart a root of ancient envy. If Jupiter should from yon cloud speak divine things and say 'tis true, I'd not believe them more than thee, all-noble Martius. Let me twine mine arms about that body where against my grained ash 100 times hath broken, scarred the moon with splinters. Here I clip the anvil of my sword, and do contest as hotly and as nobly with thy love as ever in ambitious strength I did contend against thy valor. Know thou first, I love the maid I married, never man sighed truer breath. But that I see thee here, thou noble thing, more dances my rapt heart than when I first my wedded mistress saw bestride my threshold. Why, thou Mars, I tell thee, we have a power on foot, and I had purpose once more to hew thy target from thy brawn or lose mine arm for it. Thou hast beat me out 12 several times, and I have nightly since dreamt of encounters twixt thyself and me. We have been down together in my sleep on buckling helms, fisting each other's throat, and wait half dead with nothing. Worthy Martius, had we no quarrel else to roam, but that thou art thence banished, we would muster all from 12 to 70, and pouring war into the bowels of ungrateful Rome like a bold flood o'erbear. Oh, come, go in, and take our friendless senators with their hands who now are here taking their leaves of me, who am prepared against your territories, though not for Rome itself.
You bless me, God.
Therefore, most absolute sir, if thou wilt have the leading of thine own revenges, take the one half of my commission, and set down as best thou art experienced, since thou knowest thy country's strength and weakness, thine own ways, whether to knock against the gates of Rome, or rudely visit them in parts remote, to fright them, ere destroy. But come in. Let me commend thee first to those that shall say yea to thy desires. 1,000 welcomes, and more a friend than e'er an enemy, yet Martius, that was much. Your hand, most welcome.
Here's a strange alteration.
By my hand, I thought of stroking him with a cudgel, and yet my mind gave me his clothes made a false report on him.
What an arm he has. He turned me about with his finger and thumb as one would set up a top.
Aye, I knew by his face there was something in him. Yet, sir, a kind of face me thought, I cannot tell how to term it.
He had so, looking as it were, when I were hanged, but I thought there was more in him than I could think.
So did all be sworn. He is simply the rarest man in the world.
I think he is. But a greater soldier than he, you what one?
Oh, my master?
Nay, it's no matter for that.
Worth 6 on him.
Nay, not so, neither. But I take him to be the greater soldier.
Oh, faith, look you, one cannot tell how to say that. For the defence of a town, our general is excellent.
Aye, and for an assault, too.
Oh, slaves, I can tell you news! News, you rascals!
What?
I would not be a Roman of all nations. I just leave the condemned man.
Wherefore?
Why, here's he that was what to thwack out General Gaius Martius.
What do you say, thwack our general?
I did not say thwack out General, but it was always good enough for him.
Come here, fellas and friends. He was ever too old for him. I've heard him say so himself.
It was too hard for him directly to say the truth on't. Before Coriolanus, he scotched him and notched him like a carbonara.
And had he been cannibally given, he might have boiled and eaten him too.
But more of thy news.
Why, he is so made on here within, as if he was son and heir to Mars, set it up into the table. No questions asked him by any of the senators, but they stand bold before him. Our general himself makes a mistress of him, sanctifies himself with his hand, and turns up the white of the eye to his discourse. But the bottom of the news is, our general is cut in the middle, and but one half of what he was yesterday. The other is half by the entreaty and grant of the old table. He'll go, he says, and sowl the porter of Rome gates by the ears. He will mow all down before him, and leave his passage bold.
And he's as like to do it as any man I can imagine.
Do it? He will do it. For look you, sir, he has as many friends as enemies, which friends, sir, as it were, durst not, look you, sir, show themselves, as we term it, his friends, whilst he's in directitude. But when they shall see, sir, his crest up again and the man in blood, they will out of their burrows like conies after rain and revel all with him.
But when goes this forward?
Tomorrow, today, presently, you shall have the drum struck up this afternoon. 'Tis as it were a parcel of their feast, and to be executed ere they wipe their lips.
Oh, then we shall have a stirring world again. Oh, this peace is nothing but to rust iron, increase tailors, and breed ballad makers.
Let me have war, say I. It exceeds peace as far as day does night. It's sprightly walking, audible and full of vent. Peace is a very apoplexy, lethargy, mole, deaf, sleepy, insensible, a getter of more bastard children than war's a destroyer of men.
Oh, it is so. And as wars in some sort might be said to be a ravisher, so it cannot be denied. But peace is a great maker of cacos.
Aye, and it makes men hate one another.
Reason? Because they then less need one another. The war's for my money. I hope to see Romans as cheap as Volscans. They're rising. They're rising.
We hear not of him, neither need we fear him. His remedies are tame. The present peace and quietness of the people, which before were in wild hurry, here do make his friends blush that the world goes well, who rather had, though they themselves did suffer by it, behold dissentious numbers pestering streets, than see our tradesmen singing in their shops and going about their functions friendly.
We stood to it in good time. Is this Menenius?
Tis he. Oh, he is grown most kind of late. Hail, sir.
Hail to you both.
Your Coriolanus is not much missed, but with his friends. The Commonwealth doth stand, and so would do were he more angry at it.
All's well. It might have been much better if he could have temporized.
Where is he? Hear you?
Nay, I hear nothing. His mother and his wife hear nothing from him.
The gods preserve you both.
Good day, our neighbours.
Good day to you all. Good day to you all.
Ourselves, our wives and children on our knees are bound to pray for you both.
Live and thrive.
Farewell, kind neighbour.
Farewell.
We wished Coriolanus had loved you as we did.
Now the gods keep you.
Farewell. This is a happier and more comely time than when these fellows ran about the streets crying confusion.
Caius Marcius was a worthy officer in the war, but insolent, o'ercome with pride, ambitious, past all thinking, self-loving.
And affecting one's sole throne without assistance.
I think not so.
We should by this, to all our lamentation, if he'd gone forth consul, found it so.
The gods have well prevented it, and Rome sits safe and still without him.
Worthy tribunes, there is a slave whom we have put in prison. Reports of Volscians with 2 several powers are entered in the Roman territories, and with the deepest malice of the war, destroy what lies before them.
'Tis Aufidius, who hearing of our Martius' banishment thrusts forth his horns again into the world, which were enshelled when Martius stood for Rome, and durst not once peep out.
Come, what talk you of Martius?
Go see this rumour of wit.
Cannot be the Volscians dare break without.
Cannot be. We have record that very well it can, and 3 examples of the like have been within mine age. But reason with the fellow before you punish him, where he heard this, lest you should chance to whip your information and beat the messenger who bids beware of what is to be dreaded.
Tell not me. I know this cannot be.
Not possible.
The nobles in great earnestness are going all to the Senate House. Some news is coming that turns their countenances.
'Tis this slave. Go, whip him before the people's eyes. His raising nothing but his report.
Yes, worthy sir. The slave's report is seconded, and more fearful is delivered.
What more fearful?
It is spoke freely out of many mouths, how probable I do not know, that Martius, joined with Aufidius, leads a power against Rome, and vows revenge as spacious as between the youngest and oldest thing.
This is most likely.
Raised only that the weaker sort may wish good Martius home again.
The very tricont.
This is unlikely. He and Aufidius can no more atone than violence to contrariety.
You are sent for to the Senate. A fearful army led by Caius Marcius, associated with Aufidius, rages upon our territories, and have already all borne their way, consumed with fire, and took what lay before them.
Oh, you have made good work.
What news?
You have holp to ravish your own daughters,
and to melt the city leads upon your pates, to see your wives dishonored to your noses.
What's the news? What's the news?
Your temples burned in their cement and your franchises whereon you stood, confined into an augur's ball.
Pray now your news. You have made fair work, I fear me. Pray your news if Martius should be joined with Volsci.
If? He is their god. He leads them like a thing made by some other deity than nature that shapes man better. And they follow him against us, brats, with no less confidence than boys pursuing summer butterflies or butchers killing flies.
You have made good work, you and your apron men. You that stood so much upon the voice of occupation and the breath of garlic eaters.
He'll shake your Rome about your ears.
As Hercules did shake down mellow fruit, you have made fair work.
But is this true, sir?
Aye, and you'll look pale before you find it other. All the regions do smilingly revolt, and who resists are mocked for valiant ignorance and perish constant fools. Who can blame him? Your enemies and his find something in him.
We are all undone, unless the noble man have mercy.
Who shall ask it? The tribunes cannot do it for shame. The people deserve such pity of him as the wolf does of the shepherds. For his best friends, if they should say, be good to Rome, they charged him, even as those should do that had deserved his hate, and therein showed like enemies.
'Tis true. If he were put into my house, the brand that should consume it, I have not the face to say, beseech you, Caesar. You have made fair hands, you and your crafts. You have crafted fair.
You have brought a trembling upon Rome, such as was never so incapable of help.
Say not we brought it.
How? Was we? We loved him, but like beasts and cowardly nobles, gave way unto your clusters who did hoot him out of the city.
But I fear they'll roar him in again. Tullus Aufidius, the second name of men, obeys his points as if he were his officer. Desperation is all the policy, strength, and defense that Rome can make against them.
Here come the clusters. And is Aufidius with him? You are they that made the air unwholesome, when you cast your stinking greasy caps in hooting at Coriolanus' exile. Now he's coming, and not a hair upon a soldier's head which will not prove a whip. As many coxcombs as you threw caps up will he tumble down and pay you for your voices. 'Tis no matter. If he could burn us all into one coal, we have deserved it.
Hey, we hear fearful news. For mine own part, when I said banish him, I said 'twas pity.
So did I. So did I, and to say the truth, so did very many of us. But we did for the best, and though we willingly consented to his banishment, yet it was against our will.
Your goodly things, you voices.
You have made good work, you and your cry. Shouts to the Capitol.
Oh, aye. What else?
Come, masters, get you home. Be not dismayed. These are a side that will be glad to have this true which they so seem to fear. Go home and show no sign of fear.
The gods be good to us. Oh, come, masters, let's home. I ever said we were in the wrong when we banished him.
We all, but come, let's home.
I do not like this news.
Nor I.
Let's to the capital. Would half my wealth would buy this for a lie.
Pray, let's go.
Do they still fly to the Roman?
I do not know what witchcraft's in him, but your soldiers use him as the graceful meat, their talk at table and their thanks at end. And you are darkened in this action, sir, even by your own.
I cannot help it now, unless by using means I lame the foot of our design. He bears himself more proudly even to my person than I thought he would when first I did embrace him. Yet his nature, and that's no changeling, and I must excuse what cannot be amended.
Yet I wish, sir, I mean for your particular, you had not joined in commission with him, but either have borne the action of yourself, or else to him had left it solely.
I understand thee well, and be thou sure when he shall come to his account, he knows not what I can urge against him. Although it seems, and so he thinks, and is no less apparent to the vulgar eye, that he bears all things fairly, and shows good husbandry for the Volscian state, fights dragon-like, and does achieve as soon as draw his sword. Yet he hath left undone that which shall break his neck, or has it mine, whene'er we come to our account.
Sir, I beseech you,
Think you he'll carry Rome?
All places yield to him ere he sits down, and the nobility of Rome are his. The senators and patricians love him too. The tribunes are no soldiers, and their people will be as rash in the repeal as hasty to expel him thence. I think he'll be to Rome as is the osprey to the fish, who takes it by sovereignty of nature. First, he was a noble servant to them, but he could not carry his honours even. Whether 'twas pride, which out of daily fortune ever taints the happy man, whether defect of judgment, to fail in the disposing of those chances which he was lord of, or whether nature, not to be other than one thing, not moving from the cask to the cushion, but commanding peace even with the same austerity and garb as he controlled the war. But one of these, as he hath spices of them all, not all, but I dare so far free him, made him feared, so hated, and so banished. But he has a merit to choke it in the utterance. So our virtues lie in the interpretation of the time, and power unto itself most commendable hath not a tomb so evident as a chair to extol what it hath done. One fire drives out one fire, one nail, Rights by rights founder, strengths by strengths do fail. Come, let's away. When, Caius, Rome is thine, thou art poorest of all. Then shortly art thou mine.
No, I'll not go. You hear what he hath said, which was sometime his general, who loved him in a most dear particular. He called me father. None of that. Go, you that banished him, a mile before his tent fall down and knee the way into his mercy. Nay, if he coyed to hear Cominius speak, I'll keep at home.
He would not seem to know me.
Do you hear?
Yet one time he did call me by my name. I urged our old acquaintance, and the drops that we have bled together. Coriolanus he would not answer to, forbade all names. He was a kind of nothing, titleless till he had forged himself a name of the fire of burning Rome.
Aye, so. You have made good work. A pair of tribunes that have racked for Rome to make coals cheap. Noble memory.
I minded him how royal 'twas to pardon when 'twas less expected. He replied it was a bare petition of a state to one whom they had punished.
Very well. Could he say less?
I offered to awaken his regard for his private friends. His answer to me was he could not stay to pick them in a pile of noisome, musty chaff. He said 'twas folly for one poor grain or two to leave unburnt, and still to nose the offence.
For one poor grain or two. I am one of those. His mother, wife, his child, and this brave fellow too. We are the grains. You are the musty chaff, and you are smelt above the moon. We must be burnt for you.
Nay, pray be patient. If you refuse your aid in this never-needed help, yet do not upbraids with our distress. But sure, if you would be your country's pleader, your good tongue, more than the instant army we can make, might stop our countrymen.
No, I'll not meddle.
Pray you, go to him.
What should I do?
Only make trial what your love can do for Rome towards Martius.
Well, and say that Martius returned me as Cominius is returned unheard. What then? But as a discontented friend, grief shot with his unkindness, say it be so.
Yet your goodwill must have that thanks from Rome after the measure as you intended. Well,
I'll undertake it. I think he'll hear me. Yet to bite his lip and hum at good Cominius much unhearts me. He was not taken well. He had not dined. The veins unfilled, our blood is cold, and then we pout upon the morning, are unapt to give or to forgive. But when we've stuffed these pipes and these conveyances of our blood with wine and feeding, we have suppler souls than in our priest-like fasts. Therefore, I'll watch him till he be dieted to my request. And then I'll set upon him.
You know the very road into his kindness and cannot lose your way.
Good faith, I'll prove him. Speed how it will, I shall ere long have knowledge of my success.
He'll never hear him.
Not?
I tell you, he does sit in gold. His eye red as 'twould burn Rome, and his injury the jailer to his pity. I kneeled before him. 'Twas very faintly he said, "Rise, dismissed me, thus with his speechless hand. What he would do, he sent in writing after me. What he would not, bound with an oath to hold to his conditions, so that all hope is vain, unless his noble mother and his wife, who, as I hear, mean to solicit him for mercy to his country. Therefore, let's hence, and with our fair entreaties haste them on.
Stay! Whence are you?
Stand and go back.
You guard like men. 'Tis well. But by your leave, I am an officer of state, and come to speak with Coriolanus.
From whence?
From Rome.
You may not pass. You must return. Our general will no more hear from thence.
You'll see your Roman brace with fire before you'll speak with Coriolanus.
Good, my friends, if you have heard your general talk of Rome and of his friends there, it is lots to blanks my name hath touched your ears. It is Menenius.
Be it so. Go back. The virtue of your name is not here passable.
I tell thee, fellow, thy general is my lover. I have been the book of his good acts, whence men have read his fame unparalleled, happily amplified. For I have ever verified my friends, of whom he's chief, with all the sighs that verity would without lapsing suffer. Nay, sometimes, like to a bowl upon a subtle ground, I've tumbled past the throw, and in his praise have almost stamped the leasing. Therefore, fellow, I must have leave to pass.
Faith, sir, if you told as many lies in his behalf as you've uttered words in your own, you should not pass here. No, though it was virtuous to lie is to live chastely. Therefore, go back.
Prithee, fellow, remember my name is Menenius. Always factionary on the party of your general.
Howsoever you have been his liar, as you say you have, I'm one that telling true under him must say you cannot pass. Therefore, go back.
Has he dined? Canst thou tell? For I would not speak with him till after dinner.
You are a Roman, are you?
I am, as thy general is.
Then you should hate Rome as he does. Can you, when you have pushed out your gates, the very defender of them, and in a violent popular ignorance given your enemy your shield, think to front his revenges with the easy groans of old women, the virginal palms of your daughters, or with the palsied intercession of such a decayed dotard as you seem to be? Can you think to blow out the intended fire your city is ready to flame in with such weak breath as this? No, you are deceived. Therefore, back to Rome, and prepare for your execution. You are condemned. Our general has sworn you out of reprieve and pardon.
Sirrah, if thy captain knew I were here, he would use me with estimation.
Ah, my captain knows you not.
I mean thy general.
My general cares not for you. Back, I say. Go. Lest I let forth your half pint of blood.
Hey,
back. That's the utmost of your having.
Hey,
back.
fellow,
Back.
go!
What's the matter?
Now, you companion, I'll say an errand for you. You shall know now that I am in estimation. You shall perceive that a jack garden cannot office me from my son Coriolanus. Guess but my entertainment with him. If thou standst not either state of hanging or of some death more long in spectatorship and crueler in suffering, behold now, presently, swooned for what's to come upon thee. The glorious gods sit in hourly synod about thy particular prosperity. Love thee no worse than my old father Menenius does. Oh, my son, thou art preparing fire for us. Let thee, here's water to quench it. I was hardly moved to come to thee, but being assured none but myself could move thee, I have been blown out of your gates with sighs, and conjure thee to pardon Rome and thy petitionary countrymen. The good gods assuage thy wrath, and turn the dregs of it upon this varlet here, this, who like a block hath denied my access to thee.
Away.
Oh. Away.
Wife, mother, child, I know not. My affairs are servanted to others. Though I owe my revenge properly, my remission lies in Volscian breasts. That we have been familiar in great forgetfulness shall poison rather than pity note how much. Therefore be gone. Mine ears against your suits are stronger than your gates against my force. Therefore I love thee. Take this along. I writ it for thy sake and would have sent it. Another word, Menenius, I will not hear thee speak. This man Aufidius was my beloved in Rome. Yet thou beholdst, you keep a constant temper.
Now, sir, is your name Menenius.
'Tis a spell you see of much power. You know the way home again.
Do you hear how we are shent for keeping your greatness back?
What cause do you think I have to swoon?
I neither care for the world nor your general. for such things as you? I can scarce think there's any here so slight. He that hath a will to die by himself fears it not from another. Let your general do his worst. For you, be that you are long, and your misery increase with your age, I say to you, as I was said to. Go ahead.
A noble fellow, I warrant him.
The worthy fellow is our general. He is the rock, the oak not to be windshaken.
We will, before the walls of Rome tomorrow, set down our host. My partner in this action, you must report to the Volscian lords how plainly I have borne this business.
Only their ends you have respected. Stopped your ears against the general suit of Rome. Never admitted a private whisper, no, not with such friends, or thought them sure of you.
This last old man, whom with a cracked heart I have sent to Rome, loved me above the measure of a father. Nay, guarded me indeed. Their latest refuge was to send him, for whose old love I have, though I showed sourly to him, once more offered the first conditions which they did refuse and cannot now accept. To grace him only that thought he could do more. A very little I've yielded to. Fresh embassies and suits, nor from the state nor private friends hereafter will I lend ear to.
Ah. What shout is this? Shall I be tempted to infringe my vow in the same time 'tis made? I will not. My wife comes foremost. Then the honored mold wherein this trunk was framed, and in her hand the grandchild to her blood. But out, affection, all bond and privilege of nature break. Let it be virtuous to be obstinate. What is that courtesy worth? Or those dove's eyes which can be God's forsworn? I melt, and am not of stronger earth than others. My mother bows, as if Olympus to a molehill should in supplication nod. And my young boy hath an aspect of intercession which great nature cries, deny not. Let the Volscis plough Rome and harrow Italy. I'll never be such a gosling to obey instinct, but stand as if a man were author of himself and knew no other kin.
My lord and husband.
These eyes are not the same I wore in Rome.
The sorrow that delivers us thus changed makes you think so.
Like a dull actor now, I have forgot my part and am out even to a full disgrace. Best of my flesh, forgive my tyranny, but do not say for that forgive our Romans. Oh, a kiss, long as my exile, sweet as my revenge. Now by the jealous Queen of Heaven, that kiss I carried from thee, dear, and my true lip hath virgined it ere since. You gods, I prate, and the most noble mother of the world leave unsaluted. Sink my knee, give ear. Of thy deep duty more impression show than that of common sons.
Oh, stand up, blessed. For as with no softer cushion than the flint I kneel before thee, and unproperly show duty is mistaken all this while between the child and parent.
What's this? Your knees to me, to your corrected son, and let the pebbles on the hungry beach fill up the stars. Then let the mutinous wind strike the proud cedars against the fiery sun, murdering impossibility to make what cannot be slight work.
Thou art my warrior. I hope to frame thee. Do you know this lady?
The noble sister of Publicola, the moon of Rome, chaste as the icicle that's curdled by the frost from pure as snow and hangs on Dian's temple. Dear Valeria.
This is a poor epitome of yours, which by the interpretation of full time may show like all yourself.
The god of soldiers, with the consent of supreme Jove, inform thy thoughts with nobleness, that thou mayst prove to shame unvulnerable, and stick in the wars like a great sea mark, standing every flaw, and saving those that eye thee.
Your knees, sirrah.
That's my brave boy.
Even he, your wife, this lady, and myself are suitors to you.
I beseech you, peace. Or if you'd ask, remember this before, the things I have forsworn to grant may never be held by you denials. Do not bid me dismiss my soldiers or capitulate again with Rome's mechanics. Tell me not wherein I seem unnatural. Desire not to allay my rages and revenges with your colder reasons.
Oh, no more, no more. You have said you will not grant us anything, for we have nothing else to ask but that which you deny already. Yet we will ask that if you fail in our request, the blame may hang upon your hardness. Therefore, hear us.
Aufidius, and you Volsky's mark, we hear naught from Rome in private. Your request?
Should we be silent and not speak, our raiment and state of bodies would bewray what life we have led since thy exile. Think with thyself, how more unfortunate than all living women are we come hither, since that thy sight, which should make our eyes flow with joy, hearts dance with comforts, constrains them weep and shake with fear and sorrow, making the mother, wife, and child to see the son, the husband, and the father tearing his country's bowels out. And to poor we thine enmities most capital. Thou barst us our prayers to the gods, which is a comfort that all but we enjoy. For how can we, alas, how can we for our country pray whereto we are bound, together with thy victory whereto we are bound? Alack, or we must lose the country, our dear nurse, or else thy person, our comfort in the country. We must find an evident calamity, though we had our wish which side should win. For either thou must as a foreign recreant be led with manacles through our streets, or else triumphantly tread on thy country's ruin, and bear the palm for having bravely shed thy wife and children's blood. For myself, son, I purpose not to wait on fortune till these wars determine. If I cannot persuade thee rather to show a noble grace to both parts than seek the end of one, thou shalt no sooner march to assault thy country than to tread, trust to it thou shalt not, on thy mother's womb that brought thee to this world.
I and mine, that brought you forth this boy to keep your name living to time.
I shall not tread on me. I'll run away till I'm bigger, but then I'll fight.
Not of a woman's tenderness to be requires nor child, nor woman's face to see.
I have sat too long.
Nay, go not from us thus. If it were so that our request did tend to save the Romans, thereby to destroy the Volskis whom you serve, you might condemn us as poisoners of your honor. No, our suit is that you reconcile them, while the Volskis may say, this mercy we have showed, the Romans, this we received, and each in either side give thee all hail to thee, and cry, be blessed for making up this peace. Thou knowst, great son, the end of war's uncertain, but this certain, that if thou conquer Rome, the benefit which thou shalt thereby reap is such a name whose repetition will be dogged with curses, whose chronicle thus writ, the man was noble, but with his last attempt he wiped it out, destroyed his country, and his name remains to the ensuing age. Abhorred! Speak to me, son. Thou hast affected the fine strains of honor to imitate the graces of the gods, to tear with thunder the wide sheaths of the air, and yet to charge thy sulphur with a bolt that should but rive an oak. Why dost not speak? Think'st thou it honorable for a nobleman still to remember wrongs? Daughter, speak you. He cares not for your weeping. Speak thou, boy. Perhaps thy childishness will move him more than can our reasons. There's no man in the world more bound to his mother, yet here he lets me prate like one of the stocks. Thou hast never in thy life showed thy dear mother any courtesy, when she, poor hen, fond of no second brood, has clucked thee to the wars, and safely home loaden with honor. Say my requests unjust and spurn me back. But if it be not so, thou art not honest. And the gods will plague thee that thou restrainst from me the duty which to a mother's part belongs. He turns away. Down, ladies. Let us shame him with our knees. To his surname Coriolanus longs more pride than pity to our prayers. Down. An end
travel home to Rome and die among our neighbors. Nay, behold us! This boy that cannot tell what he would have, but kneels and holds up hands for fellowship, does reason our petition with more strength than thou hast to deny it. Come, let's go. This fellow had a Volscian to his mother. His wife is in Coriolanus, and his child like him by chance. Yet give us our dispatch. I am hushed until our city be afire, and then I'll speak a little.
Oh, Mother. Mother, what have you done? Behold, the heavens do ope. The gods look down in this unnatural scene they laugh at. Oh, my mother, mother. Oh, you have won a happy victory to Rome, but for your son, believe it, oh, believe it, most dangerously you have with him prevailed, if not most mortal to him. But let it come.
Aufidius, though I cannot make true wars, I'll frame convenient peace. Now, good Aufidius, were you in my state, would you have heard a mother less or granted less, Aufidius?
I was moved withal.
I dare be sworn you were. And, sir, it is no little thing to make mine eyes to sweat compassion. But, good sir, what peace you'll make, advise me. For my part, I'll not to Rome. I'll back with you and pray you stand to me in this cause. Oh, mother. Oh, wife.
I am glad thou hast set thy mercy and thy honor a difference in thee. Out of that I'll work myself a form of fortune.
Aye, by and by. But we will drink together, and you shall bear a better witness back than words which we on like conditions will have countersealed. Come, enter with us. Ladies, you deserve to have a temple built you. All the swords in Italy and her confederate arms could not have made this peace.
See you yon coin of the Capitol? Yon cornerstone?
Why, what of that?
If it be possible for you to displace it with your little finger, there is some hope the ladies of Rome, especially his mother, may prevail with him. But I say there's no hope in it. Our throats are sentenced and stay upon execution.
It's possible that so short a time can alter the condition of a man.
There is difference here between a grub and a butterfly, yet your butterfly was a grub, and this Martius is grown from man to dragon. He has wings. He's more than a creeping thing.
He loved his mother dearly.
So did he me. And he no more remembers his mother now than an 8-year-old horse. The tartness of his face sours ripe grapes. When he walks, he moves like an engine, and the ground shrinks before his treading. He is able to pierce a corslet with his eye, talks like a knell, and his hum is a battery. He sits in his state as a thing made for Alexander. What he bids be done is finished with the bidding. He wants nothing of a god but eternity and a heaven to throne in.
Yes, mercy, if you report him truly.
I paint him in the character. Mark what mercy his mother shall bring from him. There's no more mercy in him than there is milk in a male tiger. And that shall our poor city find. And all this is long of you.
The gods be good unto us.
No! In such a case, the gods will not be good unto us. When we banished him, we respected not them, and he, returning to break our necks, they respect not us.
Sir, if you'd save your life, fly to your house. The plebeians have got your fellow tribune, and hail him up and down, all swearing if the Roman ladies bring not comfort home, they'll give him death by inches.
News!
What's the news?
Good news! The ladies have prevailed. The Volscians are dislodged and Martius gone. A merrier day did never yet greet Rome. No, not the expulsion of the Tarquins.
Friend, art thou certain this is true?
Is most certain as I know the sun is fire. Where have you lurked that you make doubt of it? Ne'er through an arch so hurried the blown tide is there a comfort in through the gates. Why, hark you, the trumpets, sackbuts, psalteries and fifes, tabors and cymbals of the shouting Romans make the sun dance. Hark you.
This is good news. I we'll go meet the ladies. This Volumnia is worth the consuls, senators, petitions, a city full. The tribunes such as you are sea and land full. You have prayed well today. This morning, for 10,000 of your throat, I'd not have given a doit. Hark! Aufidius-John!
The gods bless you for your kindness. Next thing's a fine thing.
Sir, we have all great cause to give great thanks.
They are near the city.
They're almost at point to enter.
We'll meet them and help the job.
Go tell the lords of the city I am here. Deliver them this paper. Having read it, bid them repair to the marketplace, where I, even in theirs and in the commons' ears, will vouch the truth of it. Him I accuse, the city ports by this hath entered, and intends to appear before the people, hoping to purge himself with words. Dispatch.
Aye, my lord.
Most welcome.
How is it with our general?
Even so, as with a man by his own arms empoisoned, and with his charity slain.
Most noble sir, if you do hold the same intent wherein you wished us parties, we'll deliver you of your great danger.
Sir, I cannot tell. We must proceed as we do find the people.
The people will remain uncertain, whilst twixt you there's difference, but the fall of either makes the survivor heir of all.
I know it. And my pretext to strike at him admits a good construction. I raised him, and I pawned mine honor for his truth, who being so heightened, he watered his new plants with dews of flattery, seducing so my friends. And to this end he bowed his nature, never known before, but to be rough, unswayable, and free.
Sir, his stoutness when he did stand for consul, which he lost by lack of stooping.
That I would have spoke of. Being banished forth, he came unto my hearth, presented to my knife his throat. I took him, made him joint servant with me, gave him way in all his own desires. Nay, let him choose out of my files his projects to accomplish, my best and freshest men. Served his designments in mine own person, helped to reap the fame which he did end all his, and took some pride to do myself this wrong. Till at the last I seemed his follower, not partner, and he waged me with his countenance as if I had been mercenary.
So he did, my lord. The army marvelled at it, and in the last, when we had carried Rome, and that we looked for no less spoil than glory.
There was it, for which my sinews shall be stretched upon him at a few drops of women's rheum, which are as cheap as lies. He sold the blood and labor of our great action. Therefore shall he die, and I'll renew me in his fall. But hark!
Your native town you entered like a post, and had no welcomes home. But he returned splitting the air with noise. And patient fools whose children he hath slain, their base throats tear with giving him glory.
Therefore, at your vantage, ere he express himself or move the people with what he would say, let him feel your sword, which we will second. When he lies along, after your way his tale pronounced, shall bury his reasons with his body.
Say no more, here come the lords.
You are most welcome home.
I have not deserved it, but worthy lords, have you with heed perused what I have written to you?
We have, and grieve to hear it. What faults he made before the last, I think, might have found easy fines. But there to end where he was to begin, and give away the benefit of our levies, answering us with our own charge. Making a treaty where there was a yielding, this admits no excuse.
He approaches, you shall hear him.
Hail, lords. I'm returned your soldier, no more infected with my country's love than when I parted hence, but still subsisting under your great command. You are to know that prosperously I have attempted, and with bloody passage led your wars even to the gates of Rome. Our spoils we have brought home doth more than counterpoise a full third part the charges of the action. We have made peace with no less honor to the Antioches than shame to the Romans. And we here deliver, subscribed by the consuls and patricians, together with the seal of the Senate, what we have compounded on.
Read it not, noble lords, but tell the traitor in the highest degree he hath abused your powers.
Traitor? How now?
Aye, traitor, Martius.
Martius?
I, Martius, Caius Martius. Dost thou think I'll grace thee with that robbery, thy stolen name, Coriolanus, in Corioli? You lords and heads of the state, perfidiously he has betrayed your business and given up for certain drops of salt your city Rome. I say, your city, to his wife and mother, breaking his oath and resolution like a twist of rotten silk, never admitting counsel of the war, that in his nurse's tears he whined and roared away your victory, that pages blushed at him, and men of heart looked wondering each at others.
Is thou Mars?
Name not the god, thou boy of tears. No more.
Measureless liar, thou hast made my heart too great for what contains it.
Boy, oh, slave. Pardon me, lords. 'Tis the first time that ever I was forced to scold. Your judgment's my grave, lords, must give this cur the lie, and his own notion, who wears my stripes impressed upon him, that must bear my beating to his grave, shall join to thrust the lie unto him.
My lord!
Peace, both, and hear me speak! Cut me to pieces, Volsky's men and lads. Stain all your edges on me. Boy, false hound, if you have writ your annals, truth is there, that like an eagle in a dovecot I fluttered your Volskyans in Corioli. Alone I did it. Boy!
Lords, will you be put in mind of his blind fortune, which was your shame by this unholy braggart, for your own eyes and ears?
Let him die for it.
Tear it to pieces!
Cousin there! He killed my daughter! Oh, no, outrage! Peace! The man is noble. His fame holds in this orb of the earth. His last offense is to us shall have judicious hearing. Stand, Aufidius, and trouble not the peace.
Oh, that I had him with 6 Aufidiuses or more, his tribe, to use my lawful sword. Insolent villain!
My noble masters, hear me speak.
Oh, Tullus, thou hast done a deed whereat valor will be. Tread not upon him, masters. All be quiet. Put up your swords.
My lords, when you shall know, as in this rage provoked by him you cannot, the great danger which this man's life did owe you, you'll rejoice that he is thus cut off. Please at your honors to call me to your senate. I'll deliver myself your loyal servant or endure your heaviest censure.
Bear from hence his body, and mourn you for him. Let him be regarded as the most noble course that ever herald did follow to his urn.
His own impatience takes from Aufidius a great part of blame. Let's make the best of it.
My rage is gone, and I am struck with sorrow. Take him up. Help 3 of the chiefest soldiers, I'll be one. Beat thou the drum that it speak mournfully. Trail your steel pikes. Though in this city he hath widowed and unchilded many a one, which to this hour bewail the injury, yet he shall have a noble memory. Assist